Hello, I'm Sarah Sabrin, a wellness practitioner here to present some techniques that help me to relax and de-stress, and hope these techniques help you as well. I've used these techniques for over 20 years, both personally and in the classroom. I'm a former first grade teacher with 12 years experience, master's degree in early childhood education, and have since transitioned into higher education. I am excited to present these techniques as I have used them with people from all walks of life, from young students to college students to faculty members, professors of our nursing department, leadership or leaders at colleges and universities, different thought leaders. Very excited to present both locally and internationally. So I hope that gives a little credibility to what I'm about to do. But these techniques are really rooted in scientific research. They're backed by many, many studies. So I wanted to present the tapping technique to you today, and that is also known as the emotional freedom technique. And so within the emotional freedom technique, it is a combination of our ancient Eastern acupressure practices, like working with the acupressure points, those meridians in the body, and it's combining it with our modern Western psychology. So we're going to tap gently on certain meridian points on the body and use language, focus on our thoughts and feelings, put those two together to help us to relax and de-stress. So this technique really helps to calm down this part of our brain called the amygdala, and it's a little tiny almond-shaped piece of the brain. There's one situated behind each eye, and that's really like an alarm that signals, that says you are in danger and you need to run, you need to take flight, or you need to stick in the situation and fight it out or freeze. So our body is thrust into one of those, responses. We may fight, flight, flee. There's even fawn. Fawn means you're going to take care of others in an unhealthy way, like disregard boundaries. You are going to be fawning and helping other people at your own expense. So we want to make sure that we calm down the amygdala and the stress hormone that's released, that cortisol, which thrusts us into action or to that freeze mode. So we want to make sure those are calmed down so we're not living in a constant state of stress and anxiety. Does anybody feel like maybe they are living that way? Well, we want to help reduce that. Again, as a former first grade teacher and having gone through graduate studies in early childhood education, I was fascinated to learn about a child's developing brain and how cortisol can really just wear away at that brain, really create new neural pathways. But the nice thing about our brains, we have that neuroplasticity, which means we can reshape those neural pathways. I love the image of a hill of sand, and how if you were to pour water over that hill of sand, which appropriately enough, we're here on the beach. But if you pour water on that hill of sand, it's going to create those grooves in the sand, in that mountain of sand. And with repeated patterns, we keep deepening those grooves. But the nice thing, just like sand, we're malleable, we can change. That's the hopeful news. Recovery is possible, change is possible, we can do it. So I want to teach you this particular technique to help to relax and strengthen these parts of our body, to help our parasympathetic nervous system, and that is our rest and digest part of our nervous system. I am fascinated by this whole topic. So back to the emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping. We're going to go through these points, and we're going to go through 3 basic rounds. But when you do this tapping technique for yourself, you can take each round and expand upon it. And you can do each round as many times as you need until you get to a point where you naturally find yourself sighing, yawning, taking in a deep breath. That's really good news. I love when my clients yawn, get sleepy in a session or in a workshop. That's perfect. It just really means you are processing this, you're integrating this, and that's all good. If you don't experience it, that's okay too. And I love to say that the techniques that I teach are really complementary to whatever you're already doing. So stick on that path with your healthcare practitioner, whatever you're doing, keep on that path. These can complement it. These can be used by yourself. But know that just like going to the gym or going to see a doctor, it may take more than just one visit, or in this case, more than just one session. So you can do these rounds, like I said, as many times as you need. You can repeat them throughout the day, over the course of days, your preference. As I mentioned, I've used these techniques for a very long time, and I've used them on a whole host of topics. So I've used them personally, and I've worked with clients over the years on a whole range of topics. It could be around helping to, well, reduce stress and anxiety, help increase relaxation. It can help with body aches and pains. Tapping has been shown to help reduce pain in the body. It can help with fears and phobias. I had one client who was really afraid to fly, and she did just a couple brief tapping sessions with me, took a flight from here in Florida to Texas and back. She came to report to me, oh my gosh, I was able to get on the plane and not sort of cling on to the flight attendant. Was able to take that flight, come back with much more ease. And she said, now I'm not at 100% comfort level on a plane, but it has been significantly reduced. So that was a great testament. I've had clients who were working through past traumas from childhood, relationship issues currently. So tapping can be used for all of that. Now, that being said, if tapping can bring up some emotions, it may uncover some past traumas and, just hard experiences. And if that's the case and you feel that you need additional support from a professional, from a licensed professional, please go seek that additional support. So tapping has been used for also helping to let go of any limiting beliefs we hold on to. And those are those beliefs that may have been ingrained in us because of something we heard as a kid, maybe something a well meaning parent or teacher or friend or sibling said to us, or maybe it was not well meaning, maybe it was intended to be hurtful. But either way, it may be stuck. And then it's sort of like the loop that goes on in our mind, and we kind of ruminate, we keep thinking about those things, and we come to believe certain things about ourselves. In the past, I've worked with clients who held on to beliefs such as like around money. Maybe someone grew up with the belief that you have to be very frugal, money doesn't grow on trees, or they learned over time that, it's hard to earn money, or people who earn money are bad. So there's a whole boatload of beliefs around just money. So tapping can help release some of those beliefs and help to sort of free up to create new thinking around a topic. It can help with relationship issues, weight issues, so many things, right? I've used tapping before giving a presentation, and I want to make sure I'm calm, engaging, in a good space. I've used it in the classroom when I was stressed out. I taught my first grade students how to use it. One of my favorite memories was when a child came to me. I was actually working in an after school program at the time at a children's museum. And excuse me, the student who was in third grade at the time came up to me and said, Miss Sarah, I'm so stressed out from my day at school. I need to go to the cool down corner and tap. And I always like to have a area of the classroom that was designed for students to take care of themselves for self-care purposes. Never wanted to be punitive and punish them, but like notice, hey, you seem to be having a hard time right now. Do you think going to the cool down corner might be helpful? Maybe there was like stress relief, those stress balls or coloring materials, clay, things that students could do to help regulate their emotions. And tapping was one of them. So I had a chart of the points for those tapping points. I had a chart hung up. So that was just a really heartwarming moment when the student knew how to self-regulate, go use this tapping technique. So let's jump into it, shall we? What we're going to do is we're going to start by setting up the work that we're about to do by tapping on this meridian point. This is called the karate chop point. And it would be as if you were to go and karate chop a piece of wood. And you would start by tapping gently on the side of your hand. And we're going to repeat a statement 3 times to set us up to do the work. Okay? And then after we do the setup statement, we're going to go into the first round, and I'll take you through those tapping points so you can see them now, and then I'll guide you through them again as we combine it with the language. So you would tap here, right between your eyebrows. You can use just one hand, or you can tap with both. Then you would move to the sides of your eyes, right there on the corners of your eyes. And then you would tap underneath of your eyes on that delicate skin. Just tap very gently. And tapping here under your nose, right above your lip. Tapping under your lip, just on top of your chin. And then tapping across your collarbone. I like to just thump my collarbone with my hand, or you might take two hands and tap here on your collarbone. And you should feel that like sort of a softer spot. It's kind of an indentation almost. So if you can reach it with one hand or two, that's fine. Next, you'll tap underneath of your arm, back up a little. So it would just be right there. If you can reach to both sides, that's great. Or if you want to just do one side, that's fine as well. And then the last point is here at the top of your head. Okay, and then we'll stop and we'll take in a deep breath. And that's, again, where you keep doing this until you find a spot where you want to breathe, like take a deep breath or yawn or sigh. You'll probably come to that point naturally. But in this case, we'll just go through one round so you get the experience of it. During that first round, we're going to focus on the truth of the situation. And that's like kind of the negative stuff that's going on. And I'll be honest, I had a hard time with this at first because I am a big believer in the power of positive thinking. And when I was told I had to focus on negative things, I thought, oh no, I don't like this. But I realized the importance of shining that light onto the dark areas in order to help release it and let it go. And so we're going to move through those negative thoughts and feelings. Maybe it's the aches and pains in our body, whatever it is. We acknowledge it, and then that helps to move through it and move it through us. So that's round one. The second round, we'll repeat these same points, but this time we're going to use words, focus on thoughts and feelings and words that are a little more neutral. And then the third and final round, we will focus on more positive words, more positive feelings and thoughts. So before we get started, I want you to take a moment and just sort of assess your body, your mind, your spirit, everything. Maybe physically, emotionally, mentally, where are you at? On a scale of 1 to 10, how stressed out are you? With 10 being the highest. Actually, let's say 0 to 10. 0, you are flatline, you are calm, you are so relaxed. So from a scale of 0 to 10, maybe jot that number down. Keep track of it, because afterwards we're going to reassess and see where your number is then. And just see if you've been able to drop some of those points down to a more relaxed state. All right, and then also as you're assessing your body, your mind, your spirit, where are you feeling that stress? How is that stress showing up for you right now? Are you feeling maybe a tension in your shoulders and neck? Are you holding the weight of the world right here? Are you maybe feeling foggy? You can't think clearly. Maybe you have a headache. Do you feel a heaviness in your chest? Like there's a weight there? Are you feeling a tightness in your belly? Maybe things are knotted up. Maybe your breath is very shallow and maybe you're breathing quicker. Those are different signs of stress. They show up in us in physical ways, in the mental ways, emotionally. Maybe you're on the verge of crying. Maybe you're feeling very angry, very sad. Thinking about all of those things And we're going to use some of that. So I'll keep it very generic, as I think most of us can relate to just stress in general. But again, you can tailor this to whatever the issue is, and you can get as specific as possible, or you can get as specific as you need. Like maybe when you're starting tapping, it's about one thing that happened that just threw you off today. All right. So we're going to go back to our setup statement. We're going to acknowledge the truth or the thing that we want to focus on, like this. So it sounds like this. Even though I have all of this stress in my body, I'm choosing to relax now. So go ahead and repeat that after me. We'll do that 3 times. Even though I have all this stress in my body, I choose to relax now. Even though I have all this stress in my body, I choose to relax now. One more time. Even though I have all this stress in my body, I choose to relax now. Okay, so we'll begin our 3 rounds, and we don't need to come back to the karate chop point. You can keep your eyes open, maybe gazing softly, or close your eyes. I'll walk you through the points. So starting here between your eyebrows, tapping gently and repeating after me, all of this stress, sides of your eyes, there's tension in my body. Tapping under your eyes on the delicate skin, I feel foggy in my thinking. Top of your lip, right under your nose, my mind is racing. Tapping on the top of your chin, right under your lip. I feel a slight headache. And then thumping across your collarbone. There's a weight in my chest. Tapping underneath of your arms, right under your armpits. I feel a weight on my shoulders. Tapping on the top of your head. This tension makes me feel contracted. And then stop and draw in a deep breath. And exhale. Okay, that was round 1, focusing on the truth of the situation. So let's go ahead and start to shift that energy a little bit more. Second round, focusing on more neutral words and language and feelings. Tapping between your eyebrows. The tension, just a little bit. Sides of your eyes. I feel a little bit of relief. Tapping under your eyes. My are slowing down. They're not racing quite as much. Tapping on the top of your lip. My headache is going away just a bit more. Tapping on the top of your chin. My mind feels just a little bit more clear. Thumping across your collarbone. Shoulders are softening just a little bit more. Tapping underneath of your armpits. The weight on my chest is lessening. Top of your head, this in my belly is loosening up just a little bit. And then stop and draw in a deep breath. Exhale. Good. And the third and final round, we'll focus on positive thoughts and feelings. Tapping between your eyebrows. My mind is so much calmer. tapping on the sides of your eyes. I feel my thoughts slowing down, tapping underneath of your eyes on the delicate skin. Tapping on the top of your lip, I feel calmer. Tapping on the top of your chin. Something across your collarbone. I feel peace and relaxation in my body. And thumping or tapping underneath of your armpits. I feel more and more relaxed. Top of your head. My body is more and more at peace, more relaxed. And then let's stop and draw in a deep breath. And exhale. How was that? I would love to hear from you how that experience was. Take a moment and assess your body, your mind, your spirit, and note your stress level now. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most stressed out, what number would you say you are now? Did anybody drop at least a point or 2 or 5 or all 10? I would love to hear back from you because it's a very powerful technique. Again, this was just a few minutes, and perhaps you felt a shift in energy in just that short amount of time. If not, that's okay, because again, it may take a few sessions or rounds, a few more rounds to notice a shift. Thing you might have noticed too, when I did each round, I kind of focused on the same areas, where I was tapping here and I talked about, the headache. Then the headache was going away. You don't always have to come back to the very exact same place or, topic you were talking about in the first round. You may not remember you were talking about your headaches and your shoulders dropping and your tension in your torso or your tight in your gut. It's okay if you change up the words. It doesn't have to be consistent for each round, but maybe just focus on those things. All right. So I hope this was helpful, and please reach out to me if you have any questions, and if you can provide me with your feedback too, that would be great. So until next time, keep tapping.